If you thought you had a Kundalini experience before, wait until you have one that is prolonged and sustained. You're not just going to experience Kundalini awakening in yourself, though. The Galactics are grounding into our reality. You guys, they are these gargantuan beings of light. Imagine them standing higher than the mountains, these beacons of gold light anchoring down into our planet, stabilizing our frequency. Some of them angelic, because yes, the Galactics include angelic beings, and many of them just these massive pillars of love and purity and beauty and divinity, the likes of which we certainly can't comprehend. We're not meant to understand this at the linear level. This is an experience that we get to feel at the energetic level. The false matrix was a mental prison. So we're coming out of that need to have everything presented as a mental realm concept or a linear thought. Now we can begin to delve deeper. And actually, there's 4 big implications of the presence of the Galactics grounding in. And I'm going to share those 4 implications with you today. I shared in the video just before this one. Did I release it yesterday, the day before? I don't know. Time's all weird. The video, if you go into my YouTube channel, you'll find the video just before this one. I spoke about a vision of what the Galactics are doing. That's part 1. This is part 2, where I'm sharing the implications with you. Implication number 1 is you're going to fly. As the Galactics ground down, think about what that means for us as human beings. It means that we have stability, we have a groundedness, we have a security that we didn't have before. We feel safer than we did before. And because of that, it allows us to begin to expand more, to delve into deeper parts of ourselves, parts that we once ignored. And then we're going to say things like, I don't know why, but gee, I'm healing so much deeper than ever before. Yeah, because you feel safe enough to let go, safe enough to not always be in control, safe enough to fly, safe enough to explore higher dimensional realms. But to explore higher dimensional realms, you also need to be prepared to access the densities that were once holding you and locking you into a specific frequency. That, what I'm calling flight, isn't of course a literal flight. It is an energetic raising of frequency that's brought about because of this deep grounding that the Galactics are bringing to us right now. You don't have to feel, because I know somebody in the comments is going to say, but I don't feel the safety yet, Kerry. Where is it? Where is it? Listen to the 4 points I'm going to share with you. Every single one of them is an energy activation. And as you listen to these 4 energy activations, each one is going to open your energy field up a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, until this begins to land with you and ground in for you at an even deeper level. So isn't there a beautiful universal irony here? As they ground down, as the heavenly beings, the cosmic beings ground down, we get to take flight. We get to raise ourselves up into higher and higher levels, which is also a way of saying we get to really move out of the density of the false matrix that we were once imprisoned and enslaved by. Point number 2, direct impact for each and every single one of us. You guys, this is massive. The rods of light. The rods of light brought them to you, or I spoke to you about them 2 years-ish ago. And in that period, I explained to you what they are. They are a grounded cosmic vehicle that is where every single light worker is. You don't create the rods of light. You don't direct the rods of light. You allow the rods of light. And when I first began to understand how the rods of light worked, I finally understood, oh, Kerry, that baby, that's okay. That's why you're in South Africa, because I could never make sense of it before. I could never understand why I was born to South Africa. It honestly didn't make sense to me because I hold a deep resonance with the US. I hold a deep resonance with many countries. And I know I have many people in the US that follow my work. So hey to you guys. And by the way, while we're at it, hey to Germany. I know there's so many of the German listeners and followers that have been gathering en masse over the last couple of months, maybe even a year or so. It's beautiful to be with all of you guys from all around the world. And even South Africans and Africans, it just didn't make sense that I would be planted here until I understood the rods of light. The rods of light are an explanation of why you had to be where you are, because your specific body vibrates to a very specific energy blueprint. And when that grounds down into the ley lines where you are, through the rod of light, it travels into the earth's grids. Each one of us is a grid worker. There are so many people that I've heard going, oh, I want to be a grid worker, or I am a grid worker. If you're a light worker, you're a grid worker. And you are a light worker if you work with light, because remember, all of the stuff that I'm describing to you is an organic ripple. It is a natural occurrence. You naturally allow the rod of light to anchor where you are. The rod of light naturally draws cosmic alignment, cosmic frequency down into the earth, and from right into the core of the earth where that rod of light is. It's almost like an acupuncture needle that allows cosmic light in. It goes directly into the center of the earth where it is harmonized, calibrated, integrated, and then shot back up to the surface in a form that I can best describe as being energetically pre-digested, which enables the planet and the humans on it to better absorb the cosmic light codes, the cosmic frequencies that are coming in. And this is very specific for the people who are holding more density. Those who are holding more density, they can't access the higher cosmic light codes. So the rods of light was a means of allowing them, the collective, a deeper access, a greater opportunity to assimilate and work with the cosmic light that was beginning to come into our planet. They were very stuck into a mindset, into a frequency, very loyal to that frequency. And the rods of light, the way that they were grounding cosmic light in, made it just that bit more digestible or energetically available to the masses. So the rods of light, can you just imagine? The ones that are now coming in through the galactics that are grounding into our planet? Can you just imagine the cosmic light that is now coming in? Because of that, you may very well feel like, oh, now it's my time to move. You may very well feel like, I've always wanted to move, but now suddenly it's like there's nothing stopping me. I'm not saying you have to move. I'm simply saying if the opportunity comes for you and you feel like, I've wanted to do this, I've never gotten it off the ground, so to speak, no pun intended, before, now's your time. Because there is more stabilization, more bolstering, more support. You don't have to hold your post. You don't have to man your post like you're the only person that can do it now, because the galactics have come in to co-facilitate this with us. Is going to allow for more of that flight, more of that lightness of being, and that means you don't necessarily have to stay put where you were energetically placed. You're going to have option and opportunity to broaden those horizons and to move if that is in alignment with your soul's higher growth and your next step. Point number 3, the base chakra is going to start healing and replenishing. There's a meditation on my website in the kerryk.com online shop, base chakra meditation. It's probably around 20 minutes. It's a very beautiful meditation, and it's going to take you through, if you feel called to do it, you don't have to, it's going to take you through a little bit of a deeper healing for this base chakra alignment that's coming online right now. The base chakra, this is where we hold our sense of instability. In other words, where we hold our sense of insecurity. This is where survival mode comes from. This is where greed operates. This is where I don't have enough, so I have to steal from you and steal from you. This is where the lack of creativity comes from and the consumerism comes from. And it's a very fear-based, almost primal, but in a very negative way, energy point on the body. It's where we're supposed to ground into the earth. That's why it's also called the root chakra. It's where we're supposed to root into the earth and draw planetary frequency into our body to replenish and refuel. But of course, we didn't have access to that. We were living in a false matrix. We were put here to be fuel sources for the false matrix and the archons who engineered the false matrix. So we weren't here to have an open base chakra able to be revitalized by and replenished by the earthly frequencies we were connecting to. We were too busy being drained in order to even consider being replenished. Now, as the galactics ground their presence in, it brings a new octave of healing into the base chakra. Interestingly enough, if you've been holding a lot of distortion, it's another way of saying if a lot of your issues sit with insecurity, sit with that survival, fight, flight response that you haven't been able to regulate, a very dysregulated nervous system, it's sitting there in the base chakra. Depletion, deep exhaustion, deep depletion sitting in the base chakra. So many spiritual people bought into the myth that said the higher chakras, oh, I've got to open my crown because that means I'm more spiritual. I've got to avoid the lower chakras because somehow, man, did we mess things up. Somehow, I don't know what the belief was. The lower chakras would make us lower beings. Doesn't make any sense. Nonetheless, the base chakra is absolutely pivotal because this is where our energetic alignment, foundation, roots are, and this is where we energize the rest of the body. So if we want to open the third eye and we want to open the crown chakra and we want to energize the pineal gland, we have to have a stream of consciousness that's running in an upward current from the base chakra upwards. Yes, we do definitely have currents of energy that move from the cosmic realm down and all of this. Remember, it's an organic process. You don't ever have to micromanage your healing. You don't have to micromanage the flow of your energy. You have to be in your highest alignment, your love, your presence, your stillness, your connectedness. And that alignment does the work. But now the work is going to unfold at a depth that was not accessible before. So that means revitalizing, yes. We then get to the other side of survival mode, which is what? What's the other side of survival mode? It's thriving mode. We're now going to start looking at, if I were to live for another 1,000 or 2,000 years on this planet, how would I thrive? Not how would I survive? How would I thrive? How would I contribute? And how would I create? It's a very different mindset to how will I sustain myself? How will I draw resource from something outside of me? That was a parasitic influence from the false matrix. Consumerism said, I've got to bring energy in from outside. But when we align to our higher alignment, we're fueled from within, from the ground beneath us, which is fueled from the heavens above us. There's a perfect symbiosis that is beginning to come online. Don't think you're messing up or doing something wrong because I know someone is going to say this to me. But Gary, my financial insecurities, which are big insecurities in general, emotional, financial, etc., big part of the base chakra misalignment. Someone's going to say to me, but my base chakra is more out of whack now than it's ever been before. Yes, because all the distortions are clearing. For some, there's such deep density here that it's going to take a little while to clear through. For others, this is a bit easier. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Just enjoy your healing process, your natural alignment. Point number 4. This is the fourth impact of how the galactic grounding presence affects you directly, Kundalini. And much like everything else in the old spiritual paradigm, Kundalini was also a very misrepresented, misinterpreted energy, almost bastardized and perverted into many people thinking it was a sexual experience. Kundalini has nothing to do with a sexual energy. It has everything to do with alighting and aligning a higher pathway. From within you, it is your own inner stargate. Your own inner stargate opening up through the crown chakra, connecting you directly with the heavens. In other words, it is a pathway outside of the false matrix. That is what the Kundalini was established or set about to do. And of course, we didn't have access to it before in a way that was sustainable. So that meant there were people, there have always been people having Kundalini experiences. No doubt you've heard of them. Maybe you're one of them. And I'm not going to say the following to you in a nasty way, in a judgmental way, just in a very honest way. You guys, not every psychic is wise. My mom was a psychic. And she will admit to you, albeit that she's passed, she admitted this to me very freely, that never equated to knowing with wisdom what the messages meant. It just meant that there were messages. Equally, somebody with a Kundalini experience, a Kundalini awakening experience, was somebody who had access to higher information, was privy to higher frequency, but it wasn't grounded in and sustained for long enough for them to have acclimated into the higher pathway, the higher alignment of that Kundalini permanently, which makes sense because the base chakra wasn't online. The origin of that Kundalini energy awakening is the base chakra. If the base chakra is depleted, we cannot sustain that awakening. We can only have almost like a little puff of energy. And we called it a Kundalini awakening. I'm not diminishing. I'm not downplaying anybody's experience. What I'm saying to you, in fact, is, baby, if you thought you had a Kundalini experience before, wait until you have one that is prolonged and sustained to the point that it becomes a way of being and a way of life, because the base chakra remains energized now. You're no longer leaking energy out. At least we're learning this, right? It's going to take us a little bit of time. What I'm explaining to you is this is what is now available. And everyone's going to catch up to this in their own sweet time. For you, it could be today. For somebody else, it could be tomorrow, next year, next month. It's not like we have a stopwatch and we're running a test and you've got to get it right. These are the resources that are now coming online. When the Kundalini awakening happens, and it's a sustained Kundalini awakening, you have a sustained connection to the divine universe, the organic universe, the divine matrix. There's so many names that mean the same place, and that is the world outside of the false matrix. Remember, the Kundalini is the stargate that runs right through your body. It's a burst of energy from the lower chakras right up to the heavenly chakras. And when that happens, that two-way communication is also online. The two-way communication is, I'm now able to draw from the ground up and from the heavens down, and the two meet and merge and marry, that's divine union, inside my body. And I walk around as a vessel of this divine marriage between the cosmos and the earth, energetically dialoguing inside of me, dancing inside of me. I become the dance floor for these two lovers to embrace and meet and tango with each other. I become the divine harmony and the breath that breathes and weaves their dance into life. This occurs because the Kundalini awakens. You're not just going to experience Kundalini awakening in yourself, though. You're also going to start to see the Kundalini energy coming online in the trees and the plants. There goes the neighborhood chorus, you guys. As my dogs bark, the neighbor's dogs bark, and the neighbor's neighbors, and so it goes. Anyway, the heavens are going to start to show you these Kundalini awakenings. Somebody sent me a photograph fairly recently of these exquisite red beams, like a rod of light, but a red beam of light coming right through mountaintops, going up into the heavens. The Kundalini awakening, it's going to happen in the humans, it's going to happen in the mountains, it's going to happen in the plants and the trees and the animals. It is simply a way of saying higher alignments are now taking place. Our earth itself, the earthly consciousness, will also have privy to the Kundalini awakening, wherein our planetary consciousness, Earth's higher consciousness, will be able to reach into the heavens to bring home here. How many times have I said that to you? The light workers, what are we here to do? We're here to bring home the higher realms here, in through our bodies, into our bodies, to ground it and ripple it into our reality. But now we've got the Galactics doing this with us. Share this video. Share it with a friend who may really need to be bolstered, who may really need to experience the 4 points that I've shared with you, so that they have their understanding of, oh, I'm not alone. Oh, I can fly. Oh, I'm supported. Oh, I'm free to rise to greater heights now. Kundalini online, tick. Base chakra having more vitality, tick. So much is happening in your world right now to bring in a higher reality. That higher reality is being ushered in with so much support. You may look in the mirror and go, oh my God, it's just me here. You guys, it's not just you. There are legions of light holding you, working with you, supporting you. From my heart. All the way to yours. As I ask you to take this frequency in, do it today. Realizing that you can ground down through your roots, all the way down into the earth, deeply now. Deeply, and you can feel those roots traveling down into the earth, imagining that there was some central place that they could wrap themselves around to give you this groundedness. And when that root is grounded in place, it's like a little tug, a little energetic tug happens that gives you a feeling of being anchored. And then you can feel the anchoring of the galactics, breathing cosmic light into our reality, grounding it right beneath your feet for you to draw from. And you can breathe it up. From the ground, up through your feet, up through your roots, up through the base, up through the central core column of light. That's the spinal column, the chakric column, up through your head, out through the crown of your head, into the cosmic world, where your multidimensionality is once again made available to you, is once again accessible to you. If you want to take these energetic journeys with me more and more, deeper and deeper, then join the Plasma Light Tribe. That's where I go into this very powerfully. And that's where I can work with you at a much deeper level to bring you into your higher alignment. Everything right now is being made available to you. Right now, how deeply will you allow? How much will you say yes to? How many miracles will you let yourself be witness to? And ultimately, how good can this get? From my heart all the way into yours. So much love, everyone. Speak to you really soon.